today. Now go and tell all the neighbors, yeah. Then crank up the radio. There's infotainment, brilliance to get you on your way. Wake up and start your day with Jimmy Lakey. Jimmy Lakey.
All right, looking good. How is everybody? Glad to have you here. You know, I tried to make this into a mask this morning and wear this to do the show. I wanted to put this as a mask. This could be a Halloween mask. I wonder if we could have this 3D printed or something, a little funky. That's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start off this show by saying, first of all, happy Friday to you, the 7th day of March, year of our Lord 2025. Glad to have you here. As the choir has aptly informed you, my name is Jimmy Lakey, and pleasured and pleased to be here. And if you're new to the program, perhaps this is something we started about 10 weeks ago or so. It's called Lakey Unleashed. It's our daily streamcast. We also have a Patreon version of the Lakey Unleashed streamcast. We're in the house of Lakey. And after years of corporate radio, I've been unleashed from the bonds of corporate radio, and here we sit today. My lighting, is the lighting look all right? Everybody tell me I look fine, okay? The lighting's out. I was talking to producer Chad. One of the lighting sources that we have in the studio here is not available this morning, and so it may be a little bit bright. Anyway, that's okay. We're low budget, my friends. That's why this doesn't pop up on the screen. We just hold it up. This is on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. Everybody go there and somebody give me a caption for this. This is not edited. This is just the blow up of not like a blow up doll, God forbid on that. Like the blow up expanded enlarged photo of her scowling at the State of the Union. And if anybody could give a caption, it's at facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page, facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. And she's from Connecticut. And Connecticut is one of those states that I've never been to. But if this is the type of people because you elect people to Congress, she's been elected for dozens since 1991, and you send people to Congress. I think it's 91. You send people to Congress that represents you. And if the fine people of Connecticut think this person represents them, then I don't want to meet a damn one of you. I really, honest to God, don't. I mean, does anybody know anybody from Connecticut? Are they all this weird, crazy, angry, filled with the spirit of Beelzebub? I'm just telling you. It's serious to think of that. Like Al Green. Does anybody want to move to the district that Representative Al Green lives in? I mean, if you're going to send a guy who looks like what's the insurance commercial where the caveman? He looks like his grandpa. If you're going to send a guy with a 1 foot long greasy ponytail that hasn't been washed and looks like he should be, and I'm not judging the book by the cover, my friends, but you know what I'm saying. You're thinking the same thing, and I'm unleashed from the bonds of corporate radio. There ain't nobody in America that's a normal human being wants to go live in Al Green's district, because if the people send a representative and they say, you are a representative of us, wow, what kind of people are stuck back at home? If you're sending the best and the brightest in Al Green's district up to Washington, D.C., can you imagine what other kind of asswipes are hanging out in Al Green's district? I mean, I say that seriously. If you're in Connecticut and you're sending this lady to represent you because she's the best of the best, what does that say about the people of Connecticut? So anyway, in the chat rooms all over, now that I pissed off people in Houston or wherever they're at in Connecticut, good morning. Glad to have you here in Christian love. It's a pleasure. No, I'm serious. Does anybody know anybody from Connecticut? I mean, I just don't know anybody from Connecticut. And if this is the representation of Connecticut, I don't want to know anybody from Connecticut. I really don't. Oh, everybody go comment on that. Facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. I know some of you are on the Media Equalizer page. Some of you are on the Red Wave America Facebook page. Some of you are watching on X. Hello, X. How are you? Some of you are watching on the Rumble this morning. Some of you on the Instagram, the IG, as the kids say. Soon enough, we're going to be over to the TikTok. We're going to be hip, cool, and jiggy with it like the kids are on the TikTok. So that's going to be exciting. I got to work on the TikTok here. Maybe this weekend. Producer Chad knows I have nothing else going on in my life right now. So maybe I'll find time for that. But no, we're going to get on the TikTok here real soon and continue to expand the audience. But if anybody out there's from Connecticut, do you know anybody? Have you met anyone from Connecticut? I don't think I have, but I'm telling you, somebody explained to me how this person doesn't need to get a passport to look doesn't need to get a passport to enter into DC. I mean, this is that's like a foreign creature. So put your caption on it. Yesterday, I actually, you know what I did yesterday? I posted this up, and I don't do politics on my personal pages. I have fan pages, and we're the only place I do politics. And I posted this up, and I waited for all of you yahoos that follow me on the social media to comment on this photo. And no one did, and no one did, and no one did. And I was like, well, maybe I've been shadow banned again by Zuckerberg. Maybe I've been shadow banned. And then guess what happened? I realized I posted it accidentally on one of my personal pages, and friends were like, oh, getting good reaction. I have friends, a lot of like-minded people. I deleted it and said, no, I don't do politics on the personal page. So anyway, good morning. I wanted to start with that and go comment on it. Give a caption. It's facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. Everybody go get some action over there on that and just help me understand. Oh, God, help me understand. I mean, I know she's one of God's children, but it was quite a scene indeed. All right, what else do we want to get to here? The DEMS are in disarray. The media doesn't really show this to you, but they're in disarray. They are in total shock. They're in total freak out mode. They can't get a grip on what Trump's doing. They still can't believe that old Kamala lost the election. They can't believe they're now, what is it? Jake Tapper's writing a book to say, Jake Tappy's writing a book about why it is that the media covered up the dementia and the foolishness and the mental decline of Joe Biden. And you're like, Jake Tapper, you were a part of that did that. You cut off people and wouldn't let them speak when they tried to point out that. So the media the other night was saying whoever created the little paddles with the signs on it, they should be fired. I said yesterday, forget the person who came up with the idea. That was probably a staffer. That was probably an advisor. The people that were dumb enough to do it, they should be fired and they should resign immediately. Al Green, an old guy that looks like, again, he's relative of was it Progressive Insurance that has a caveman? Looks like his grandpa out there waving a cane at the president. And that's the face of the Democrat Party. The face of the Democrat Party is this and Al Green. And they should be on every campaign ad because it's really... Yeah, Rich says the same thing. Look there. He says that seems like a campaign poster for the Democrat Party right now. Really, this is the face of the Democrat Party, and Al Green, an old dude, shaking a cane. Trump, point of the day, Trump has a point, but hair won't cooperate, and I think I smell that lady who farted. Oh, is that the comment here? Yeah, Trump has a point, but I smell that lady who farted. Yeah, I'll say. Sorry. Sometimes I'm realizing people are on different platforms and there's different things trending on those platforms. And so Jeff's on the Facebook page, I think, and I think we posted up a meme about that. But the Dems are in disarray, and so you saw the media, you see the meltdown there. Jake Tapper's trying to say I didn't cover up the decline. Well, now you find a story, and Axios has it, and I'll share part of it with you here. That evidently, privately, they're confronting the disruptors behind the scenes, and they are yelling at each other and say, what the hell were you thinking holding up signs? Well, but here's the point. For years, Nancy Pelosi, old Nancy, she ran the Democrat caucus with an iron fist. She didn't let anyone really get out of line, or old Nancy's going to come and beat your ass, or have some San Francisco thug beat your ass. I mean, she really kept things in line. Anybody remember a few years ago when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was in her first year, there was a summit between AOC and Nancy, and they had to make nice together. And a lot of people say that Nancy was intimidated by this new radical wing of the party, but she had to make way for the new radical wing of the party because they'd go spin off somewhere else. And so I remember the scenes of this summit, and this AOC got called to Nancy's office, and they came out and said they look forward to working together. But you know that there were some threats being made behind there, and Nancy probably borrowed Al Green's cane and waved at AOC, and probably had a bottle of vodka in the other, said, I'll knock you on one side with Al Green's cane, I'll hit you on the other side with a bottle of vermouth or whatever the hooch, I'll slap you with the hooch. So Hakeem Jeffries doesn't have the ability to do that. He has not been able to. He got elected partially because they think he looked good, partially because Nancy said he's the heir apparent. I mean, he's a good speaker, but he doesn't have that leadership, almost threat. They're not afraid of him. And I think they were all afraid of Nancy. Well, now Hakeem Jeffries, watching what happened the other night, is, according to Axios and sources, cracking down on some of his members that are going to disrupt that disrupted, and he's very angry. Evidently, some of them got called to Hakeem's office and got a tongue lashing, and maybe they pulled out Al Green's cane and said, "Bend over, you're going to take a few swats here." But Hakeem Jeffries, yeah, he may be upset about Al Green causing the scene, because I guess the warning the sources say that Hakeem Jeffries gave the day before, he said, let's not be the part of the story. Let's let Donald Trump, because Hakeem says if you just let Donald Trump get up there, he'll make a fool of himself. Well, unfortunately, that didn't work out for Hakeem, because Hakeem sat there quietly waiting for Donald to make a fool of himself, and almost 80% of Americans say they approve of the speech. So the strategies aren't working. They're in total disarray. And I said this yesterday, it's going to be an ongoing question as more and more information comes out. Who's going to lead the Democrat Party? Hakeem Jeffries is not going to do it. Hakeem Jeffries doesn't have the skill, the ability to do it. And there's so many wild factions that I think are just not going to be they're just not going to be tamed. And it's fascinating to watch that Hakeem evidently said, don't become part of the story. And they all chose to become part of the story. And now they don't know what to do, because the polling numbers say that they were not appreciated for their contribution to the State of the Union or the Joint Address to Congress the other night. Your thoughts on it, my friends? It's just interesting to watch that Hakeem Jeffries has now called people down to the office, and he's let them know this was not appropriate for you to do that. But here's Hakeem Jeffries doesn't have any high ground to stand on. Because one of the things that is still the talk of the town, one of the things that every Democrat that I've seen online is still getting trolled about when they're talking about Donald Trump. I followed a couple of Twitter feeds yesterday. People are still trolling these members of Congress going, shut your lectures up. You didn't stand for a 13-year-old cancer survivor. Shut your lectures. You didn't stand for the Lake and Riley's family. Shut your pie hole. You didn't stand for the firefighters and for the boy that went to West Point. You sat on your hands. And so while Hakeem Jeffries might try to say holding up the signs and waving your stick was not necessarily a good look, he could be angry about that. What are people talking about? Yeah, they're joking about the sticks and the popsicle sticks that Joe Biden left in the White House, and they made them into auction signs. But what people are talking about is DJ Daniel. They're still talking about the DIMS abusing him. They're still talking about Rachel Madcow talking nasty about him, and Nicole Wallace on MSNBC. They should both be fired for what they did and what they've said about him and how they tied it to January the 6th rioters, and just the nonsense is coming out of their mouth. So Hakeem Jeffries can lecture his caucus all he wants, and he can tell them, hey, you shouldn't have been waving the signs. You shouldn't have been waving the stick. You caused a scene. Hakeem Jeffries, you've lost control. You maybe never had control of your caucus, and you should have led by example and on things that you could agree on, that maybe a 13-year-old cancer survivor getting the Make-A-Wish dream of his life to become a Secret Service agent. If Hakeem Jeffries is not intelligent enough politically and just aesthetically and visually to know that, hey, we should stand for this, then Hakeem Jeffries cannot go back to the caucus and start lecturing them about their behavior of who wore the pink and who written on their lapels and all that stuff. Hakeem Jeffries is angry at everybody else out there in the caucus for making a scene, and yet Hakeem Jeffries still not astute enough to know where we screwed up was we sat on our hands and did not show respect when we should have shown respect. There's plenty of, I had somebody on the Facebook page yesterday, I think it's Facebook or Twitter, said, well, one person yelled and said Barack Obama's a liar. And I always hate it. Libs do this all the time. They always say, well, Donald Trump said, it's like, it's kind of like a child. You're talking about a child, and the child says, but all my friends did it, and they did it, and everybody else at school did it. And that was the argument that somebody made on one of the pages yesterday. So anyway, watch it. It's fun to watch. Popcorn it's fun to watch. Talking about DJ Daniel, I have a couple more clips. What a sweet little guy, a young man he is, hugging the Secret Service guy like he did. Go watch that one right after he got the Secret Service card, going into the White House to say he's going to hug President Trump. And it's just funny. He's got a real great, fun personality, it seems. Now, he said yesterday in an interview that I watched that he said he's had 13 different brain surgeries and every time brought a personality change because they're tweaking the brain up there. And I'm not exactly sure how that manifests, but whatever it is, this is a funny guy. Watch this. This was I guess he was walking out of the White House. He had just walked out of the White House, and I'm not sure who the lady is he's talking to, but this is DJ Daniel. The Dems tried to, again, this is where Hakeem Jeffries, you're an idiot. You're an absolute bona fide idiot that you're lecturing the caucus, and yet you didn't have the know-how to know that when a 13-year-old cancer survivor gets a make-a-wish dream of a lifetime, you didn't stand up. You're no fit than this lady is to lead your party. You probably look better, but you're probably just as astute politically. All right, here we go. This is first cut one of DJ. Go.
You know what's crazy?
What?
You know who I caught in the White House?
Who?
Who made the Teslas?
Made the Teslas.
Elon. You saw him?
Yes, I just caught him in the hallway.
Did you say hi to him?
Mm-hmm.
And what did he
said,
say?
Can you do me a big favor? When we get back to Houston, can you send us a Cybertruck down there?
And did Elon Musk say he'd send you a Tesla?
Mm-hmm.
A Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm showing again, but I gotta ask you a question. If you meet Elon Musk in a hallway, right? You're a person, male, female, whatever age. What would be the first thing you'd say to Elon Musk? Nice to meet you. Great. This kid, DJ Daniel, says, "Hey, I got a favor to ask you. Come over here." Like he's old friends, like they're just meeting at the coffee shop and say, "I got a favor to ask you." I mean, you could see that his police officer get up. I got a favor to ask you. DJ Daniel gets a little bit older and becomes a police officer. He's going to be one of the cops at the donut shop smoking a cigarette going, "Honey, I got a favor to ask you." I mean, it's play it again. Think of that. You just meet Elon Musk. He just meets the president and he says, "I got to give you a big hug." He just meets Elon Musk and he asks him and says, "Hey, I got a big favor to ask you." Do any of you, I mean, I could meet Elon Musk. We got a charity organization in Africa, desperately always trying to raise money, build a school, take care of kids, the naked kids, the homeless kids, the orphan, all the stuff we try to do on a regular basis, right? If I saw Elon Musk, the first thing I would say is not say, "Hey, Elon, I've got a big favor to ask you. I got a charity. Could you donate?" I'd try to build a little rapport there. But when you're DJ Daniel, he's a ballsy little kid. Watch it again.
You know what's crazy?
What?
You know who I caught in the White House?
Who?
Who made the Teslas?
Elon. You saw him?
Yes, I just caught him in the hallway.
Did you say hi to him?
Mm-hmm.
And what did he
said,
say?
Can you do me a big favor? When we get back to Houston, can you send us a Cybertruck down there?
And did Elon Musk say he'd send you a Tesla?
Mm-hmm.
A Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You gotta love it. Now watch this one. He was being interviewed. He's being interviewed on News Nation, another cable channel, and I guess the interview was wrapping up, and he wanted to let the reporterette know that he wasn't done. He had one more thing to say. This is DJ Daniel saying the one more thing he wanted to say.
Such an honor to have met you.
Hold on, I got one more thing to say.
What? He has one more thing to say. I won't interrupt you.
If you're a Democrat and you're being mean to President Trump, I'm on your bumper.
Such.
That's it. I got one more thing to say. I'm not done. Elon, hold up. I got a favor to ask you. Hey, if you're a Democrat being mean to President Trump, I'm on your bumper. I mean, this kid is absolutely fantastic. If again, you're being interviewed on national television and you're doing a hit on national TV, you usually don't stop the host. And let's say I'm making a hit on the Jesse Waters show or the Hannity show. You don't usually stop and say, "Excuse me, Sean, Jesse, I got one more thing to say." You don't do that. They wrap it up. They're pitching back to the studio, and it's all done. I've never known anybody in proper decorum that says, "I got one more thing to say," and yet somehow DJ Daniel pulls it off, and he pulls it off quite well. Watch it again, because this is fun stuff.
Such an honor to have met you.
Hold on, I got one more thing to say.
What? He has one more thing to say. I won't interrupt you.
If you're a Democrat and you're being mean to President Trump, I'm on your bumper.
Is that a line the cops use? "I'm on your bumper." Is that a cop line? I don't know. I mean, again, can you see the kid get a little bit older, smoking a cigarette at the donut shop? Because we all know that the popo love the donuts, right? They all love the donuts. But we love you, police officers. We really do. But they're eating the donuts, and he's going to be like, hey, he's going to see somebody leaving the donut shop and say, "You better drive good, because I'll be on your bumper." And he go smoke a cigarette and say it. You know it's true. All right. Speaking of President Trump, I have some. Last night, I tell you, I'm not very prolific on the social sites. Sometimes I don't go to the social sites like I should and update my profiles and stuff. So last night, I was on my Truth Social account, and I decided I was going to just kind of look around and see what I had been missing. Rogers says, DJ, this is what he'd say to President Trump after he got a hug. Maybe he did. "Hey, DJT, I got your 6. I'm on your bumper." Hey, brother Elon, I got a big favor to ask you. I mean, Elon could come and spend 30 minutes on a show with me and do an interview, and I don't think I would say, Elon, I got a favor to ask of you. I just don't think I'd do it. But DJ Daniel does, and maybe he did. That's a great point. Maybe he tells President Trump, I got your 6. This kid's going to want to be out on the detail here real soon. You're going to see him walking next to the beast in the presidential limo, and he's going to have some swagger about him. All right, I spent some time on Truth Social last night, and if you want to see what President Trump is thinking, you can cut off the news. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch all the spin and all the narration, and here's where they have President Trump speaking, and then everybody gives analysis of what he said. All you've got to do is go to Truth Social, and you will find out some of the things that he has said. Some of these are going to be on the screen. Producer Chad, why don't you take the lead? You just put one on the screen, and we'll read it together. Listen to this one, and this is a great question, and I'll spend some time on this. We have notified the mayor of Washington, D.C., that she must clean up all the unsightly homeless encampments in the city, specifically including the ones outside of the State Department and near the White House. If she is not capable of doing so, we will be forced to do it for her. Washington, D.C. must become clean and safe. We are proud to have of our capital again. Thank you, Mayor Browser, for your efforts on behalf of the citizens of our country. Hopefully, you will be successful. Just the way he says it. You're not supposed to read like in text messages. Don't read tone. Don't assume someone's angry. But you can almost hear him thank you, and we wish you well in your endeavors. Do you also hear that President Trump is told they have the Black Lives Matter square in Washington, D.C., where they painted a street with giant yellow BLM letters and the crosswalk, and they changed the name of the street. The federal governments, I guess, have gone in and said, no, that's not that. This is our city. This is not that. And they've done that. So Mayor Bowser, here's another question. Why is it that Democrat-run cities are often the most dirty cities in America? I think that through. I'm sure there's a dirty concern, but these big cities are run by Democrats and they're dirty. And why does the president of the United States have to tell you to clean up your city? These towns are being run by children. It's like daddy's home back in the White House. And he says, Mayor, this is our city. This is actually, we run this place. We're your city council and stuff. So get your ass out there, little girl, and clean up the damn city. Why is it that these Democrats have to be told? Little dweeb Mike Johnson, who's the mayor of Denver, and he testified, made national news for making an idiot of himself. They said, is your city of Denver a sanctuary city? It's a crime-ridden hellhole is what it is. It's a crime-ridden hellhole. I know many friends that will avoid downtown Denver like the plague anymore. Used to be a glorious place to be, but it's not anymore. Homeless stuff, step over the poops, not as bad as San Francisco, but it's a nasty place. The 16th Street Mall, just a couple of weeks ago, people getting shot in cold blood there, which is a pedestrian, no cars walkway. I mean, it's not a safe place there. And they asked Mike Johnson the other day at the congressional hearing, they said, Mike, is your city, is this a sanctuary city? And this is what the little bonehead said. He says, we would like to refer to it as a welcoming city. I mean, that's a childlike answer. When the president of the United States has to tell you as a mayor, hey, your city's kind of dirty, and at some point your kids get old enough that you like, why do I have to continue to tell you to clean your room? Why do I have to continue to tell you to put your dirty clothes down in the hamper? Why do I have to continue to tell you to clean up your dishes these are conversations I've had. Why do I have to continue to tell you that don't leave dirty dishes in the sink? The dishwasher is right there. Just drop them there. I'm not your maid. Why is it that Democrats have to be told this in their city? Your city's a cesspool of nastiness. And you tell Mike Johnson, hey, Mike Johnson, your city's a sanctuary city. You got illegal criminals running around, homeless crap everywhere. What do you say about this sanctuary city stuff? The mayor of Denver is such an idiot. He says, we like to just call ourselves a welcoming committee, a welcoming city. These people are absolutely idiots. All right, more to Donald Trump's truth. So we just had a meeting with most of the secretaries, Elon and others, and it was very positive. And again, don't watch the news, just read Truth Social, and you will know exactly what President Trump is saying. It's very important that we cut levels down to where they should be, but it's also important to keep the best and most productive people. We're going to have these meetings every 2 weeks until that aspect of this very necessary job is done. The relationships between everybody in that room are extraordinary. They all want to get the exact same place, which is simply to make America great again. And the Elon tweets that. So he said, hey, we got unity here. The media's out there telling you we're out of control and Elon's running amok. And the media spins us, right? Donald Trump, go to Truth Social. He says, hey, we had a meeting. Everybody's on the same page. Boom. Here's what we're doing. We're all of this. Okay. Andy says, yes, this is interesting. Andy says, I love downtown Denver and 16th Street. That really put them on the map. I haven't been there in 10 years. So upsetting to hear this. Oh, yeah. Anybody that lives in the area knows. My son, last year was home from the Christmas or sometime, and he had a girlfriend at the time. They were going to go on a date, and they were going to go to the 16th Street Mall and eat at a restaurant down there. And he was 19 years old. I'm like, well, you can, but I would avoid it like the plague. And you might want to make sure when you pick up your date that girl's parents are okay with her going to the 16th Street Mall, because it's a cesspool. And when, again, the child, Marion Bowser in Washington, D.C., you walk through the city, the president says, Daddy's home, Mary, and it's time you clean up the streets here. It's a cesspool. If you don't do it, I'll do it for you. And you go to the little dweeb Mike Johnson, the mayor of Denver, and they said, why is your city a sanctuary city? We like to call it a welcoming city. Idiots. All right, another Trump truth here. Let's do this. The Democrats should lose the midterms. This is true. The Democrats should lose the midterms based on their behavior at last night's joint address. Again, what President Trump think of all the chaos surrounding him? The media, they all told you what they thought. Well, here's what Trump says. The Democrats should lose the midterms based on their behavior at last night's joint address. All Republicans must use their behavior on men and women's sports, their very dangerous open border policy, high energy and taxes, and much else. Also, Republicans should utilize the footage provided on the total disrespect they showed to all of those that were honored on the night, including young ladies who were killed by illegal migrants, people with terminal cancer. They didn't even have the common courtesy to stand, smile, or applaud. This could be an analyzing tape for this historic event, your full campaign to victory. In other words, Republicans can take what happened last night and win in any race in the country. Good luck. Good luck. It's, again, you don't have to have all the people out there going, well, this is what, no, Trump's right. He puts it right there. The Republicans can play this if the Republicans will march a straight line and stay in order and continue to carry out the mandate that Trump has. The Democrats, I've heard it said by Democrats, they walked into a trap and they got stuck in every one of them on Tuesday night. Again, let's do another one of the Trump. We're going to have Doug Giles here in just a minute. If you want to know what Trump is thinking, here's one. All federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protest. Agitators will be imprisoned and permanently sent back to their country from which they came. American students will be permanently expelled, depending on the crime, arrested. No mask. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's telling all the universities, thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm about to fix the problem. If you petulant liberal children can't fix it. Mayors, clean it up. I hope I don't have to do it for you. Daddy's home. Columbia University, thank you for your attention to this matter. You better get your act together. All right, let's do another one. I know we have, this is the one. This is classic. This is international policy played out on Truth Social. Again, if you don't follow him, you should. Shalom, Hamas. It means hello and goodbye. So in context, shalom, Hamas. Hello and goodbye. You can choose. He's telling Hamas, would you like it to be goodbye, Hamas, or would you like it to be hello, Hamas? Shalom, Hamas. Means hello and goodbye. You can choose. Release all the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it's over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I am sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have the chance. Also, to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits you, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. That's all. All you got to do is follow the guy on Truth Social, and I think you'll do that. You follow the guy, and again, remember that. Shalom, Hamas. It means hello or goodbye. You can choose. If you don't follow him on Truth Social, you should. Right now, and given the effects of the Democrat responses to DJT's State of the Union, says John, it's a beautiful day in the GOP neighborhood. They stepped in every trap, and again, Trump laid it out for them. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother from a different mother, Doug Giles, joins us. He's usually with us on a Wednesday, but he was tied up this Wednesday, agreed to come on a Friday. Brother Doug, welcome in, sir.
Jimmy, check this out, big dog. Hang on.
Cojones. Everybody's got to get some cojones to hang on the wall. That's what they ought to do.
Yeah, so it's 36 by 36 inches of full attitude Donald Trump style. And I got to warn your listeners, your viewers, two things. Number one, it will spawn liberal tears. It'll make your aunt with the mustache that takes notes during CNN, it'll make her head explode, which is a good thing. And number two, this is an upshot, is that when you have that art on the wall, cause life imitates art, you can expect trickle-down testicular fortitude to come cascading over your soul, spirit, your psyche. All of a sudden, you'll grow a pair. You'll become bold. You'll become wild. You'll become free. So anyway, you can get limited editions over at DougGiles.art. And also we have open editions. And Jimmy, yoga mats, T-shirts, coffee mug. Good Lord.
Good Lord. It's at DougGiles.art. You can find all that. Doug, it's funny. The other night watching that speech, the guy had cojones, but can you help me understand? Can you explain what this is?
Ooh. That's the root cause of erectile dysfunction right there, brother.
That is it. We have found it.
Yeah, so what's that other chick's name? Rashid Tlaib or whatever, and she had her little whiteboard like Karl Rove. Was that?
Yeah, I get all those radicals mixed up. They all.
Yeah, when I saw her, not only is that purple-haired chick the root cause of erectile dysfunction, but Rashid Tlaib with the whiteboard. That's why Muslim men look with love towards goats, right there, buddy.
I'm telling you, I've never met anybody from Connecticut, but she's from Connecticut, and it's by the way, have you ever? You're a Texas guy. You're down in Texas right now. Al Green's district. I'm thinking if Al Green, they love him so much, no one even contested him in November's election. That means that's a neighborhood you're going to stay out of. That's if that's who you're sending and say this is the best of the best. Can you imagine what kind of curmudgeons are back in that district? If the guy that looks like the progressive caveman's granddad is your best, and you go to D.C., you're the best of us.
Yeah, that's some Neanderthal stuff. Can you imagine that your elected rep, all he can do is scream at Trump, "You have no mandate," while waving a cane like some weird ass Batman character, and he's got a 18-inch ponytail? Yeah, we can do better. And this has nothing to do with racism, by the way. This is just, the level of disrespect they have for Trump is really unbiblical. I'm doing a message this Sunday, Jimmy, on honoring parents, which extends to authority, which obviously, the president is in that seat of authority. And you just look at how these cackling little pouty, petulant, entitled whiners with their little ping pong paddles and stomping out of meetings and interrupting Speaker Johnson and just acting the fool. Doug Schoen said it best yesterday. He's like, I don't know what these people are thinking, but my party has become completely irrelevant. And John Fetterman, the one that everybody used to make fun of, is now making a hell of a lot of sense, talking about, again, just their lack of decorum, their lack of specificity to actually combat Trump from a policy standpoint. It's just a bunch of kooks and nuts and flakes. It's like a whole box of granola.
It's Trump. I want to get to another topic, a blog that you have, but Trump actually, and I think he laid this out correctly. And I was just going through before you got here some of his Truth Socials. You want to don't watch the news, just read Truth Social for Donald Trump, and you'll figure out what's going on. He's right. He says Democrats should lose the midterms based on the behaviors last night. Republicans should use their behavior about men and women's sports, their dangerous open border policy, high energy and taxes, not standing and honoring people, including ladies killed by illegal immigrants, migrants, people with terminal cancer. They didn't even have the common courtesy to stand and smile or applaud. That should be your full campaign to victory for win every race in the country. Good luck, Republicans. He's right. They stepped in every trap.
Yeah, we used to be good friends, and he wrote the foreword to my book, Raising Righteous and Rowdy Girls. Pat Goodell, who's a Democratic pollster with Doug Schoen. And Pat, here he is, Democrat, lifelong, comes to my daughter's wedding. We sit down, we have fun, we discuss things. It gets heated. He speaks at CPAC. He intermingles, with the right, with the conservatives. And look at the left now, man. It's a religion. If you don't smoke their weed, if you don't do, their mantra, you're persona non grata. And they're losing some of the greatest. Frickin' Tulsi Gabbard has moved over to Trump. RFK Jr. These are Democrats, and that party of JFK has turned into the party of WTF.
Yeah, I said this yesterday, and I said this after the Democrats, every time there's a shooting or something, they start worrying about the children. They never seem to worry about them before they're born and the protecting of them. And I said this yesterday. I said they wouldn't stand for DJ Daniel, this young man that's fighting terminal cancer, 13 brain surgeries in the last 6 years. They wouldn't stand for him. They wouldn't stand for and honor nothing about Trump, just these people that were celebrating them as Americans. And I said this, and I think a couple of people got pissed at me. I said they wouldn't stand and honor DJ Daniel at the State of the Union or this Trump speech, but I guess if DJ Daniel had never been born, they would be applauding that, saying, wow, he's been sacrificed to the altar of Baal. We're glad it's unbelievable. They won't celebrate the kid's survival, but they would have celebrated his death in an abortion clinic.
Yeah, again, it just shows you how deeply deranged and sick these people are. And like Ann Coulter said famously 20 years ago, liberalism is a mental disorder. They hate Trump so much that they can't applaud the overcoming spirit and the triumph of faith in a young boy who gets his dream fulfilled by becoming an honorary member of the Secret Service. Dude, I was laughing and crying watching that. And it just shows you how vapid they are. Yeah. They see us and they see Trump and they see anybody that's in his circle as heretics. We don't believe their religion. They're in a cult. They're brainwashed, and they don't like America. They don't like your listeners. Yeah. We just got to understand that and just pray that somehow God will knock the shiitake mushrooms out of them and they'll wake up before, they do something more drastic.
Yeah, I'll show you this. I want to go to your blog about Old Men Dream Dreams. And this is just fun. If you follow the DJ Daniel, you're just joining us. These are two interactions he had with the media yesterday. Here's cut one. What would you say to Elon Musk when you first meet him? Here's what DJ Daniel did.
You know what's crazy?
What?
You know who I caught in the White House?
Who?
Who made the Teslas?
Who made the Tesla?
That Elon. You saw him?
Yes, I caught him in the hallway.
Did you say hi to him?
Mm-hmm.
And what did he say?
Can you do me a big favor? When we get back to Houston, can you send us a Cybertruck down there?
And did Elon Musk say he'd send you a Tesla?
Mm-hmm.
A Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
I got one more to show you, but what would you say to Elon? Would you ask him for a Cybertruck like in the first 20 seconds?
I think those are one of the ugliest vehicles on the road, man. We were driving in Houston 2 days ago, and it's no offense to Elon, but I don't know. I don't like cyber anything. I don't like any kind of electric. If he's got some badass like 1973 Ford Bronco O.J. Simpson getaway vehicle,
you're ready.
Got 35-inch Mickey T's. I'll take it.
Yeah. All right, one more, DJ Daniel, then we'll talk about the blog you wrote. This is, again, the kid's just hilarious, and they couldn't stand and honor this kid. He's overcome cancer, and here we go.
Such an honor to have met you.
Hold up, I got one more thing to say.
He has one more thing to say. I won't interrupt you.
If you're a Democrat and you're being mean to President Trump, I'm on your bumper.
Yeah.
I'm on your bumper. I can just see him. He's the cop in the donut shop in 20 years going, hey, drive safe out there. I'm on your bumper. I mean, he's got a cig in his mouth. It's funny.
Hey, I think he might be the next C.J. Pearson coming up. I mean, we could be blown away to see where this star ascends.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, DougGiles.org has all things Doug. And Doug, you have a blog that went up, Dear Old Christian Men, which is there's a lot of old geezers out there watching this thing right now. Are you ready to dream again? It's based on a Joel chapter 2, and let's talk about it.
Yeah, in Joel chapter 2, Joel 1 and 2 is bleak, man. I mean, that's about as inspiring as it makes me look like Vincent van Gogh as a rodeo clown, and it's very depressing. And then they rebelled against God. Then God sent locusts and destroyed their nation, or sawed it down to a stump. And yet God comes in, Jimmy. And he says he's going to restore the land. He's going to redeem them from their mistakes. And one of the agents that he utilizes to redeem and bring a renaissance or reformation or revival, whatever you want to call it, is he activates the dream machine in old farts like us. And so when the old Christian Jimmy starts thinking, retirement, God's thinking refirement. When they're thinking, well, it's all about the children. No, it ain't, numb nuts. It's about us too. We dream dreams. And a lot of people don't think that, this one comedian said, people over 50 don't have dreams. They have nightmares and eczema. And that's what a lot of people, even the wealthy ones, it's like, I'm just going to spend my days golfing. You're going to be bored out of your mind. You're going to cheat on your wife. You probably die early, because once you lose that vision, once you lose that dream, once you lose that drive for something holy, just, and good, that holy grail, that which is bigger and better than anything you could be involved with from a material standpoint, you start shrinking, man. You start turning into a fraction of what God made you to be. King David was dreaming a dream when he was old, a temple for God. God's Ark lives in a badger skin, and I live in a palace. I want to build him a mighty temple. And that vision and $300 million worth of funds created Solomon's temple. And again, in Psalm 71, he said, I'm gray-headed, and I want you to revive me again so I can tell of your power and your might to the next generation. So dream dreams, old men. Ask God to give you fresh vision. And look at RFK, man, 70 years old. I'm going to make America healthy again. Donald Trump, he doesn't need this crap. He's 78 years old, 79 years old. Vision, dreaming from old men.
Yeah. I was going to mention Trump because everybody says he doesn't need this. He could be golfing. And he says, I could be in any of my beautiful properties around the world, but I'm here. And if people say, well, he's just a narcissist. Listen, I don't think he's just a narcissist. I think he's got a dream and a picture. I think he knows what he wants to do, and it's God birthed, I believe.
Yeah. And, aside from the scriptural characters or Trump and RFK, there's a lot of guys that got activated. Abraham, 75 when he got the call, Moses, 80, frickin' Colonel Sanders before he started KFC and that glorious chicken started destroying our arteries. He was 65 years old when he launched Kentucky Fried Chicken. And you got Mondrian as an artist. You have Ian Fleming, the famous author of the James Bond movies. All these guys are post 60 before they kick into gear. And Truman, he wasn't some spring, chicken. He was in his 60s as well. Coco Chanel. She had two careers that were destroyed by one destroyed by the war, and then boom, she comes back online and she's in her 60s again. And so when a lot of people think again, of settling down, God's thinking, no, there's a lot more life in you. I'm going to fire you up. And so nobody talks to older people like that in church. It's like, go over there to whatever they call the geriatric wing and just wait to die, and instead of like, no, you guys are part and parcel of the revival, the Reformation, the Renaissance that occurs when God's restoring a culture. It's not just young people. It's young and old. That's why I hate, Jimmy, I hate youth groups, because they separate young people from old people. And there's stuff that the old people bring to the table that Crispin, the youth leader, he couldn't bring to the table until he matures another 40 years. And there's life and zeal and energy that young people bring to the older Christians. And I think it's unbiblical. You don't see it in the Old Testament. You don't see it in the New Testament. Jesus, when they tried to remove the children from him, he's like, hey, numbnuts, don't do that. Bring them in here. Don't take them down to the Mount of Olives with Bartholomew and he can dole gently on a harp. So I want those kids hearing what I'm saying, what I'm preaching, and Jesus didn't dumb it down and make it stupid and abecedarian so that the young children could get it. He just let it rip, because there's a lot of things young kids get through osmosis that they might not understand, intellectually.
Yep. The voice of Doug Giles. Doug, for those who don't know, if anybody's down your way, you actually have a church and a ministry down there, and people can come hear you in person if they're ever down to the hill country of Texas.
Yeah, Wimberley, Texas, and gateway to the hill country, beautiful town, and meet at 11 at the VFW, Jimmy. And
11 on a Sunday or a Saturday?
Sunday.
And afterwards, meet at Giles's house and have a cigar. That's what you do.
Yeah, we started the church with cigars and sermons.
Yeah, I remember that. I never made it down for the cigars and sermons. I regret that now. But I'll come down and have a cigar with them. You can give me a sermon. Yeah, buddy, do it. You got it. Doug Giles, appreciate it. The Cajon art, all of the Doug Giles art is at DougGiles.org will get you there. Just go to DougGiles.art. It's all there. But the prints are available for Cajones. It's not Co-Jones, my friends. It's Cajones.
Right on. Stay right, bro.
You got it, my friend. Appreciate you. Nice to have all of you here. Jimmy is my name. Jimmy Lakey. Glad to have you here. That's Doug Giles, DougGiles.org. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a Friday edition of the show. I don't know if I've reminded you of this. I was always a part of radio. You had to start reminding you. But did you know that daylight savings time begins this Sunday? That's right. Sunday, we spring forward into daylight savings time. So that means you're going to spring your clock forward. It's not as big a deal. It's a pain in the ass we have to do this. I hate it. I wish we'd just spring them forward and leave it forward and keep it there. We'll have longer days. So anyway, you're going to lose an hour's sleep. Just contemplate that when it comes to your Saturday night partying, so that you get up to make it to church on time. So that's the thing you should know, is that it's a spring forward this Sunday, a public service announcement. Here's an interesting story that I don't think we've talked about this with Jay Ratliff. I haven't seen it on the list, but I'll try to bring it up. A woman on a Southwest Airlines flight bound for Phoenix stripped down naked, butt naked, banged on the cockpit door and yelled that she wanted to get off the plane early. That was all before the plane even took off. I have audio of it. We'd think we don't have video, but a passenger explaining it. I've got to ask my brother Kevin, who's like the one of the big dogs at the Denver International Airport for a certain airline, if he's heard about this. A woman gets naked, strips down on a Southwest Airlines flight bound for Phoenix, and starts banging on the cockpit door and says, "I want off the plane." I'm sure. Guess what? She got off the plane quite quickly, and I'm sure she wasn't totally naked. I think she had some bracelets on her wrist when she finally got off that. That plane, she had some bracelets on her wrist, and maybe it's a little bit of time in a padded room. Anybody see this story? This is fascinating. Hunter Biden says he's broke. Hunter Biden is out of money. Isn't it amazing? They actually, New York Post and other people have this story that while his daddy was president and leading up to his father's presidency, people were buying his artwork for bazillions and millions of dollars. Remember the artwork of Hunter Biden? And now that his dad's not in office, Hunter Biden says he's out of money and he cannot pay his legal fees anymore. Let me read to you some from the New York Post. The former son claims he's millions of dollars in debt. Nobody's buying his art, and he's lost his house to the Los Angeles wildfires. It was a bombshell legal filing in which he asked a federal judge to drop the laptop hacking lawsuit that he slapped on a former Trump White House aide. The embattled former first son said he has managed to sell one piece of art. His catalog is mostly colorful abstracts that have been compared to hotel art since 2023. So since 2023, he sold one piece of art. He raked in nearly $1.5 million for his art and the early part of the Biden administration on his art. But by 2023, everybody's like, well, we don't need to buy Hunter Biden art anymore. In the 2 to 3 years prior to December 23, he says, I sold, this is his court filing. This is not me making it up. So why do you think the market of art died for Hunter Biden? Anybody have a guess for that? I mean, surely it was real art collectors out there buying the Hunter Biden art, right? Surely it was. This is in the court. His attorneys say, quote, his statement, in the 2 to 3 years prior to December of 2023, I sold 27 pieces of art for an average of $54,000, $55,000 a piece. But since then, I've only sold one piece of art, and that was only for $36,000 a piece. And as he told the court about his financial woes, lawyers also noted that the sales of his 2021 memoir called Beautiful Things, no one's buying it. Here's how bad it is. Beautiful Things, his 2021 memoir, from the 3,200 copies over 6 months that sold when it released to now about 1,100 copies in the following 6 months. You know, I'm not Hunter Biden, and if we ever put the Rivers Promise story, or if I wrote it, I think we could sell it. Doug Giles sells that more than that of his books. Biden said he is shocked that interest in his work has evaporated when his dad's political fortunes turned. This is the guy that Joe Biden says is the smartest dude he's ever known. And yet he says he is shocked that his work has evaporated now that his dad's political fortunes have turned. Now, this is the guy that got millions of dollars to sit on an energy board, didn't he? Burisma. He was on the board of Burisma, and he admitted to ABC News he had no qualifications, but hey, they wanted me. I'm a real smart guy. Here's the other quote from Hunter Biden. Given the positive feedback and reviews of my artwork and memoir, I was expecting to obtain paid speaking engagements, paid appearances, but that has not happened. So while Daddy was in power, people said, you're a real good boy there, Hunter. You're a real good boy. Let me slap you on the hind end and say, good boy. And everybody liked me. And I was expecting to get paid speaking engagements, paid appearances, but that has not happened. Biden, who got a sweeping pardon from Joe in the waning days of his father's administration, is self-taught and started painting while recovery in drug addiction. All the financial hardships, they say, is preventing him from litigating the case against Garrett Ziegler, according to a motion filed in federal court in California Wednesday. Biden's financial troubles were only exacerbated by the Pacific Palisades wildfire in January that left his Malibu mansion that he is renting unlivable. Like many other in that situation, I'm having difficult in finding a new permanent place to live, he claimed in the motion. Yeah, it's kind of, Daddy's not in the White House anymore, so he can't go shack up there. And it's just unbelievable. The guy's broke, and he says he's surprised that he's broke. I don't know what happened. Anybody else, if you're not convinced that this is the Biden crime family, then, my friends, you are not convincible, and it's a very sad day to be in your brain. Joe's out of office, says Ray, and no one wants a painting from the son of a former president, especially those paintings. Jeff says we're going to Phoenix next week on the Southwest flight. If next week we hear of a naked man pounding on the cockpit door on the way to Phoenix, we now have our first suspect. It could be that he is... it's Jeff. Jim, sorry, I'm just now looking. These might have already gone up. Jim says, did that woman removed from the Southwest have purple hair, muttering something about Trump and have a paddle in her carry-on? I don't know if she had carry-on, but she might have had a paddle somewhere. That lady there. If you'd like to comment, feel free to do so. We're trying to capture this photo today, caption it. So if you've got a funny thing, some people are putting up, yesterday they were putting up memes like other pieces of cartoon characters, photos and images of who this might resemble. I think that's very, very positive, and that would be a great way to do. Great way to do it. All right, what else do I have? It's daylight savings times. I did that. Oh, let me do a couple more stories, and we're going to do the meme roulette here. KASH PATEL is on the march. By the way, speaking of Hunter Biden, the laptop and all the pardons that happened there. There's a lot of people that were affiliated with that I think we could get to the bottom of it. And supposedly today, this week, Donald Trump has said, told his staff, he says, I want secrets out there. I want you to tell what really happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. The shooter that was staked out at Mar-a-Lago was in court today, and President Trump, in a White House kind of a pepper session where the media is peppering questions, he made a statement that he's told them, "Hey, get the news out on this thing. We want to know more about that." The USAID has said that they are looking at criminal charges. We mentioned this yesterday, but they doubled down on it yesterday. And then KASH PATEL has made some arrests in the Army, and it's a complicated little story. You can find it at justice.gov, but a soldier has been charged with conspiring to transmit national defense information to individuals located in China. I'm going to screw the names up, not on purpose. Jin Zhao and Li Tin are active duty U.S. Army soldiers stationed at Joint Base Lewis McChord, along with Rohi Duan. These are all seem like Asian type names. Former U.S. soldiers were arrested following indictments by federal grand juries in the District of Oregon and the Western District of Washington. So KASH PATEL has been on the job for a week and a half now, 2 weeks, and the Department of Justice is already banging it out and finding out where the traitors are at in our Army and other levels of government. Now, there's going to be some more arrests. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here as Donald Trump allowed our southern border and all sorts of other factions. I mean, factions of our government, probably our military, to be compromised. And KASH PATEL, Pam Bondi are on it. But if you haven't heard that story, you might want to look it up. Two active duty soldiers and one former soldier have been arrested because they were they were charged with conspiring to obtain, transmit national defense information to an individual in China not authorized to receive it, and also for bribery and the theft of government property. This is just the tip of the iceberg, I think, of what we're going to find was happening in the the Biden administration. And again, this is an administration that was so corrupt, and they told you Hunter Biden's getting paid because he's a fantastic artist, and now he's not getting paid. There were criminal dwellings and dealings throughout that administration, and if it was happening at the very top, it was happening further down. Speaking of Hunter Biden, and speaking of the truth coming out, I'm wondering this right here. Remember the cocaine found in the White House? And they said, it's the most secure building in the world, probably. More cameras at every angles. I mean, you probably do good to not go to the bathroom and not have a camera on you at times. And they couldn't. 1 week investigation, 2 week investigation. They said, we don't know whose cocaine it was. It just got dropped off there. I want to know whose cocaine it was. And was it Hunter's? Because they know. There is not a substance like that, because if you can drop cocaine in the White House and not be detected, what a vulnerable place that was. You could do chemical warfare and nobody ever know. I think they know. It's amazing what they don't know when they don't know. You have all these cameras around Washington, D.C. They can catch a jaywalker. There's Ring doorbells everywhere in the neighborhood. And yet we have pipe bombs that supposedly get left on January the 6th at certain places, the DNC and the RNC. And we don't know. And but Kamala was in there. We have video of her being in there, but nobody laying the bomb out there. And we have videos of everything in the White House, except we don't know who put the cocaine there. I hope we get to the bottom of that. That's a secret I'd like to know. Supposedly, Pam Bondi said in an interview, by the way, because Epstein was a big story last week, that they are quickly going through as quickly as possible all the hundreds of boxes that they got from the Epstein files that were being held by the FBI in New York secretly, and they're trying to get out there and put out as much as they can. And she says, it's coming, and that makes this lady very unhappy for sundry reasons. All right, speaking of January 6th, as I just did, if you haven't subscribed to our Patreon page, you really should. It's patreon.com/Jimmy Lakey, patreon.com/Jimmy Lakey. I've got an interview there with a guy named Shane Jenkins, and it's I think, a great interview. If you've seen it, comment. Let us know what you think of it. If you haven't seen it, that means you're not a subscriber. Producer Chad, do we have an excerpt of that, or do we not have that? I don't even know if we do today. We didn't talk about that in the pre-show. If not, that's okay. I think you can go find the preview at patreon.com. Yeah, we'll skip it. I don't see it there in the lineup there. So that's okay. We did not talk about that. So we will not throw that in there as a mix-up. But we go to patreon.com/Jimmy Lakey, and you can see a preview. And there's two ways to actually There's two ways. Where do those balloons come from? Does anybody know where these balloons come from? We have not figured it out. Occasionally we get hijacked by it's like cocaine in the White House. We don't know where it came from. The balloons zip across our stage. We're not sure where the balloons come from. There's got to be there's got to be a comment or something or an emoji that's happening in one of the chat rooms out there. Yeah, it's like Hunter Biden's cocaine. We don't know where the balloons pop in. They popped in last week as well. Strange. We're gonna get to the bottom of this the balloon saga. We don't know where they came from. It's like Hunter Biden's cocaine. We don't know where it comes from. I want to remind you, kiddos and friends of mine, that Sherry Cree is a proud sponsor of this show. Homeswithsherry.com, homeswithsherry.com. I'll go back to the Patreon. I know I got interrupted by the balloons. Go to her website and check it out. Listen, March spring is coming up, and this is the time that people start kind of contemplating. She says traditionally, right around Super Bowl, the switch flips. There's no more television to watch for football, and you're like, what are we going to do this weekend? Well, let's work around the house. Well, maybe we should upgrade. Maybe we should downgrade. Maybe we should sell. Let's just, people start having these thoughts because they're not clogged up watching football on the weekends, and warmer weather's coming. Do you know right now, if you have your house listed, you're very likely to sell it quicker and maybe even for a little bit more because inventory is low. As the warmer weather hits up, inventory is going to go up. Listen, here's what I want you to do. If you're contemplating whether you're ready to sell now, whether you want to start that process and figure out what your next step is in real estate, homeswithsherry.com. Sherry Cree, great friend of mine, and I highly recommend you have that conversation with her. She's a white glove detail type person. If you've ever heard of the ninja sales practices, she knows them all, and she does them all. She lives it out, and she wants to be your realtor for life. She wants to kind of find out where you want to go, and if it's your starter home, if it's your retirement final home, you want to go to the ranch style home, maybe you're wanting rental properties, whatever the case may be. If you're in Colorado, up and down that I-25 corridor, even if you need a mountain property, Sherry Cree, I would recommend her. Homeswithsherry.com, homeswithsherry.com, and reach out to her, have a conversation, consultation. And if you're ready to go and you want to have that conversation, she's ready to go. It's not just about putting a sign in your yard, though. This is about help, the strategy, the whole thing, and staging. She'll walk you through it. And top dollar. By the way, that I-25 corridor, I mean that. So if you're Fort Collins, if you're in Denver, if you're in Aurora, so avoid the Tren de Aragua. If you're in Boulder, if you're in Wellington, Windsor, again, we know people out of state. If you're out of state, you want to move into state, Sherry Cree, homeswithsherry.com. Castle Rock, she can help you out there as well. Homeswithsherry.com. Reach out to her, and now's a great time to get going before everybody else gets going. That way, you beat the rush on the inventory, and again, supply and demand, my friends. And that's what she's going to help you. Homeswithsherry.com, homeswithsherry.com. All right, back to the Patreon page. There's two ways to join the Patreon. Number one, you go there, and there's a free subscription. You can subscribe, and you'll get notified when things go there. And then you can buy things one at a time if you want to, or you just subscribe. And we're going to do some free stuff up on the Patreon. The shows oftentimes get loaded up there. It's just a great hub when we want to put some content out there. There's going to be free stuff up there as well. So go join Patreon for free. But if you want to see the Shane Jenkins interview, it's patreon.com/Jimmy Lakey, patreon.com/Jimmy Lakey, patreon.com/Jimmy Lakey. Oh, I forgot to also mention, I think this is one of the great things about Sherry, homeswithsherry.com. When she sells a home for you, realtors get commission. That's how they get paid. She takes a portion of a commission and she says, what charity should I give this to? And you can choose. You want to give it to your church? She'll donate the portion of her commission to your favorite charity. You want to give it to Red Cross, Rivers Promise, my charity. She does that. And she also takes a discount on her commissions if you're a military person, a first responder, a veteran. She believes in those who have served the community. She wants to serve back. That's how she does it. So I just want to do the follow-up, the addendum on Sherry and homeswithsherry.com, homeswithsherry.com. All right, the takeaway from today's shows is make sure that you are, by the way, the poll numbers are still coming in on the speech. And despite this old battle axe, everybody loved the speech so far. I mean, it's almost an 80% approval rating and about a 20% of approval rating of the Democrats at that. They stepped into a landmine, and I'm not sure of the recovery method. And I'm sitting here thinking, if I were advising the Democrat Party, I'm not sure what advice I'd give them. I'm not sure. I think they have almost become, it was an irredeemable activity of what they participated in at the at this joint session of Congress. It was really just ridiculous and tragic behavior of what they did. And I don't know, if you're a Democrat out there, I'd love to, if you're a reasonable one, not like this lady, not like this battle axe, but if you're a reasonable Democrat, I would really love to hear your takeaway on how would you advise your party that is really the American, about 20% of Americans support them, and after that they're like, that was ridiculous behavior. How do you redeem that? I don't know how you do. I don't know how you do when you're the face of your party is this, and Nancy Pelosi and Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, and Al Green out there shaking a cane. I don't know how you come back from that, but maybe somebody can help us. All right, don't forget, Sunday is daylight savings time and spring forward. And also, my friends, don't forget that we're trying to caption this photo, and go to facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. If somebody put up like a Smurf yesterday on it, I think, and I think whatever, I have no words. And so you guys are giving me the words. Facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. Want to thank all the friends of the program. Don't forget Lehman Lewis Financial Group. If you're thinking about retirement in these years of life, like Doug Giles said, retirement it may stop your regular job, but you can still be re-inspired to go out and change the world and do something great. That's what Doug Giles was talking about. And Lehman Lewis, they share that same kind of vision. They want you to be able to fulfill the dreams that you have, maybe God-given dreams during your retirement, and they can help you get positioned to be able to do that. If retirement is on the radar screen, LehmanLewis.com, anywhere to the sound of my dulcet tones, great fiduciary, and they're been great friends of my program back in radio, and still great friends of mine. And I just recommend them if you're contemplating. It ties into what Doug Giles said. Just because you're an old geezer, getting a little long in the tooth, there's a lot of stories in the Bible and in history that some people didn't get rejuvenated and rocking and rolling until maybe their 60s and stuff. So if you'd like to be rocking and rolling in your 60s and 70s and beyond, make sure you're making the right financial plan in your investments in retirement, so that your retirement can look like an adventure, and very peaceful and taken care of, and not look like you're just waiting for the final day because you're on your final penny. LehmanLewis.com, Lehman Lewis Financial Group. Chuck Lehman's, his dad started it. Chuck Lehman ran it. Now Alicia Lewis's daughters run it. Her husband, Josh, a family-owned, family-operated in Loveland, Colorado. But listen, if you're under the sound of my dulcet tones, LehmanLewis.com, reach out to them and retire, not just with peace, but with purpose. I just made that up myself right there. You're welcome. All right, let's do meme roulette. What do you say? This is where we steal shamelessly memes from around the globe, and we don't care where they come from. We're just shameless. We admit it. We steal. Very low budget. We don't even have the ability to put this on the screen. We just hold it up. We're low budget. If I read tweets, sometimes I just hold them on paper. My desk is a mess. Here we go. Round and round the world we go. We steal the memes from where we don't know. What's our first stolen meme of the day? Jesse's Girls was released 43 years ago. So if she's still watching him with those eyes, she's got readers on. I just know it. Jesse's Girl. You know the song Delilah, right? Jesse's Girl. No. Delilah's like, she's lost over there. Jesse's Girl, 43 years ago. Did I hear about Braveheart? I think this week or the coming up, it's like almost a 30-year anniversary for Braveheart. Did you hear that? How in the hell is this possible? 30 years, I think, since Braveheart. I may have the date wrong, but it's been a while. All right. Round and round the world we go. From where we steal the memes, no one really knows. I got to blow the screen up here because it's blocked on my part. I can't do it. Here we go. Let's read it. Foolish husband doesn't know whenever you get a chance means right now. Yeah. Anybody ever feel that one? Ladies, let me give you some advice. There's a couple of things that we men are slow on. We dread. When you say, hey, whenever you get a chance, could you do this? Men, that does mean right now. Let's just be honest. That's what it means. It means right now, get your ass up and do what I'm asking you to do, and don't delay. Men, do you agree with me that some of the most dreaded words a man can hear from a woman? This should be a question of the day. Was sometime the most dreaded words a man can hear from a woman, from his wife, his spouse, partner, whatever. Honey, we need to talk. And and when you hear we need to talk, we need to have a talk. Oh, God, you know it's about to happen. You know you've done something wrong, and you know that there's emotions about to come forward, and you know there's probably wine and chocolate and tears and crying. And generally, a lot of guys will tell you that those words, we need to talk. Can we talk? We need to talk. Maybe, my friends, a lot of guys say that those happens right about the time you're about to fall asleep. You're laying in bed. You're just about to doze off. You're about to put the book down, or maybe your eyes are already kind of waning away, and you hear, baby, can we talk? Oh, God, no. So I'm just, men, can you testify? You know that's true. You know that's true. Oh, by the way, people are commenting about the balloons. Somebody said it's attributed to the Fort Collins balloon boy. Maybe they're Chinese AI balloons that are gathering data on the program. I don't know. Where did the balloons come from? Anybody know? We don't know where the freaking balloons come from. Back to the meme machine. I get distracted. Producer Chad knows I chase squirrels sometimes. Ready? Round and round the world we go. Where we steal the memes from, no one knows. Love this one. Why do they look like they're about to lay a trap for Batman? This is so true. I mean, they look like they're about to lay the trap for Batman. The face of the Democrat Party. Hey, kiddos, why don't you vote for them? Yeah, vote for them, you bunch of 20-year-olds. I wonder why Donald Trump won that demographic of youngsters out there. But he did really well because that's the option. That's the face of the Democrat Party, or cackling Kamala. All right, I think we got a couple more. Round around the world we go. Where we steal the memes from, no one knows. Oh, there is the caveman. Here we go. You had one job to do at the State of the Union. Sit there and be quiet. But you had to be escorted out. So simple, a caveman could do it. There is a canny resemblance there. Look at that bottom right hand. There's a very canny resemblance there. It's quite shocking as to how canny or uncanny the resemblance is. All right, round and round the world we go. Where we steal the memes from? Did we milk the meme machine? Oh, we got another one. We have lied about everything. However, the Ukraine coverage is all true. That's true. Yeah, they've lied so much, and so yeah. But they're telling the truth about Ukraine. No, they're probably not. Here we go. I think we're running towards the end. I don't know how many memes we have in the meme machine today. Round around the world we go. Where we steal the memes from. We milked it dry. The teat of the meme machine has been milked dry, and that means it is time to wrap up our program today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Friday. If you get paid on a Friday looking for a contribution to make to society and to humanity, I welcome you to donate to our charity, riverspromise.org or riverspromise.com. Invite you to participate in that. And I also, my friends, invite you to go to the Patreon page, patreon.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. And don't forget, kiddos, this caption contest is up on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. If you do donate to the charity, I will not, if you get enough money donated, I will never show this photo again. How about that? Is that a deal? We should set a goal that I will hold this up until we get a certain financial goal met. Now, that would be cruel and unusual, and I love all of you too much to torture you like that. But riverspromise.org, you'd love to have your donation there. $30 feeds a child 2 meals a day for 30 days. $65 includes those meals and sends the kid to school and provides her health insurance for an entire month. So you get the idea, and that's the power that we can do in changing a life. If you don't know the story of Rivers Promise, we have a brand new website. Still working on some bugs on it. You can go to riverspromise.com, riverspromise.org. You should be able to see the new website, and there tells a story. I started the Rivers Promise charity because of a promise I made to my very own son, and I'd welcome you to participate with us. Riverspromise.com, riverspromise.com, or riverspromise.org. Make a donation today. All right, the meme contest continues. Facebook.com/Jimmy Lakey fan page. Good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. We should be back here Monday here on the program. As long as producer Chad and I wake up in time. But hey, don't forget, turn your clocks forward this Saturday night if you still have a clock to turn forward. Your cell phones, they change themselves. They do. All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure. It's been a fun week. Watch the Democrats continue their implosion. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, I've given you all the websites. I've asked you for the money, all that stuff. We've done all that. I do a little benediction. May God bless you. May God bless America. I am Jimmy Lakey. Peace. I'm out of here.